People ask me all the time, "Hey, Rick, what do you do for a living?" And my response is always, I teach people how to trade in the financial markets. The follow up question 9 times out of 10 is always, "Oh, like the stock market?" And my answer is always, well, yes, but I teach other things, including the futures market or Forex or cryptos. So it's a good idea when you're starting off your trading journey, figure out what asset class it is that you're looking to trade and then understand the rules for those asset classes. For example, you can look for stocks, you could look for futures, you could look at ETFs. You could look at mutual funds. You could look for doing things like REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. You can look at other things like the options world. There's so many different assets that you could look into. And one of the things that I tell people is learn the rules. So, for example, when you're trading stocks, you have things like the pattern day trading rule, meaning you can only do 3 trades within a rolling 5-day period if you have under $25,000 inside of a trading account. There's things like in the futures world where you have to make sure that you have margin and have an understanding of how the margin accounts work, what you can control versus what you can't control, what a margin call is going to be. Those are going to be things that you have to understand when dealing with the futures market. Things like cryptos. Well, how do I fund my wallet? What is a wallet? What cryptos can I even trade? How does that work? Do I do technical analysis with that or just hit buy or sell? What are the rules for cryptos? Those are going to be things that you're going to want to research when you are making your decision as to what it is you want to trade. So, with this, I like to primarily teach in the futures market. And there are several things you need to know with the futures market. So, first off, are you looking to trade financial indexes? Things like the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500, Russell 2000, Dow Jones 30. There's several other financial indexes as well. You have to find out what exchange they're located on. And then also as well, what are the hours that they trade? Now, to be very simple, when you're trading in the futures market, most futures trading is going to be conducted from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going to the next day to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you'll have about an hour break between those sessions before you can start trading again. So no trades will execute between 5 p.m. Eastern Time and then 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And when you're trading in the futures market, you have to be aware of those margin rules. So things like intraday margin will typically work from the open of the market to a maybe specified close time, maybe at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:15 p.m., or even all the way up to that 5 p.m. Eastern Time window. And then you just have to recycle to the next to stay within intraday hours. Some brokers may allow that, some may not. Some prop firms may allow it, some may not. So you got to research those with the broker. Now, if you have a pretty large account and you have enough margin to cover how much it would be for those trades to go into the next trading session, well, you can leave it in there and then let the trade carry on overnight if you so choose. But you also have to be aware you have to have a minimum threshold in your account in order to keep that trade active past trading sessions. And that includes any of that drawdown that would be for that trade while it's open. So, always when making your decision, pick your asset class that you're looking to trade. If you're looking for the futures, make sure you understand the different types of symbols that you can trade. Maybe you don't want to do the financial indexes. Maybe you want to only trade gold futures or silver futures or copper futures or zinc futures. You can look them up. Maybe you want to do bond futures. There's several bond futures out there. There's your agricultures. You have your soy, your corn, your wheat. There's a lot of different agricultures out there that you can look to trade in the futures market as well. And research the different symbols, find out what the valuation is, and then what the minimum increment of movement will be. So in the futures world, you have things called ticks. Now, ticks are going to be the minimum increment of movement, similar to like what a penny would be in the United States denomination. So basically, let's say for a dollar, the minimum amount that it moves is going to be in pennies or cents. So a tick is pretty much going to be that minimum movement. And you might look at that price scale and say, man, that thing's moving in 10-cent increments. Well, each time it moves 10 cents on that chart on the right hand side, typically is where that'll be found. You'll see that that has a valuation. And for every 10 cents it moves, that is going to be considered a tick. Sometimes it's 25 cents every time it moves. It might go from 0.25 to 0.50 to 0.75, so on and so forth. And you'll measure it out from your entry point, either up or down in that direction if you're looking to trade, either long, which is up, or short, which is down. So every time that moves in increment, it's going to have a price level associated. And it could be 50 cents a tick if you're doing things like micro NASDAQ or micro Russell. It could be $1 a tick, things like the micro gold. It could be $10 a tick, things like light crude oil, ticker symbol CL, or $12.50 if you're doing one E-mini contract. That's how much one tick would represent in terms of dollars per that symbol. So it's a good idea when looking into the different asset classes, get the rules down for each, because every single asset class is going to have their own rule set of how they do trading, and research to find what it is you like. Do you like trading long term? Do you like trading short term? Are you looking to trade with a small account or a large account? Are you looking for things with less risk, which you can diversify with? Or are you looking for things that are a little bit more risky so you can try to capitalize on quick moves? Research that. And then when you make that decision, pick a broker, make sure you research that. And then from there, make sure you get those rules understood by practicing. And then once you practice, then at that point, you can decide if you'd like, go to a live account and trade with live funds.